Demonstrate a cable opening for a CSJA, which is a cold shrink joint, just a straight that we've been working on lately. I know my opening, which right here would be 10 1/4. So what I'm going to do is I'll just take my ringers and make a nice mark with it around without going too deep. And I will at that point get a hold of my law machine, check my depth setting here. When you cut it with the cutters, there's a lot of times it'll leave those ends sticking up with the copper drain wire. So once you get it started and going, when you get close down here, if you've used your ringers, it will try to ball up a little bit. But if you just get your thumb back there behind, it'll hold it in place, and you can just square cut from there. Loosen a little bit, get that out of your way. Go ahead and get this off. Take off your cloth underneath here. Just go ahead and peel it back as far as you can, and up underneath for that matter. You're just going to cut it as close as you can. So that way you have the most connection to your copper drain wires and metallic shield. At this point, I know I need 1 1/4 inches here. Take my marker. And I'll make my mark at 1 1/4, which I know was the inside on this side right here. Take a tension band, get it started right there on that inside mark. And you want to keep it flat and straight going around. And make sure it's got the tension on there. Get your file. File these drain wires right up against that. All that does is give you a good mark for going a straight cut all the way around. You want to try to be precise with these. Precision is your best method, especially when we get to the next step, which will be the semicon. Very precise on your opening. Most critical part. That's where the high stress point is. Okay. Once I feel like I'm pretty good in there, I'll go ahead and break these off, working my way around a couple at a time. If they're not going real easy, then go ahead and just get your file out and hit it a little bit, and it'll get them. You'll find where you get a little heavy-handed on one side and less on the other. Got those broke off. I'll at this point remove my spring band, and I'll be looking at these edges. If any of them are sticking up, break off your plastic date stamp tab in there. You want to tap these a little bit. You don't want to knock them any sharp points down into the semicon. Once you're good with that, you take your 15-amp braid and cover it up. According to the kit I'm opening up, it's going to be 4 wraps. 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to push this up against your braid here. Tie off your braid. And I will cut it. You can tear it, what have you. I just like to keep it smoother by cutting. Take your vinyl tape and make 2 wraps of vinyl tape on there. Helps hold it in place, make sure it doesn't come untied, and leave you a tab on there. Okay, talking about critical point here. On the instructions, it gives you either 6 3/4 from the end of the conductor or 3 1/4 from the end of the jacket. I'm going to my 6 3/4 because I know that will be the exact cutoff spot where I need my semicon to fall. You have a little bit of play in there on the overall. You got about 3/4 inch on each side that it can play in. You want to be as right on as you possibly can. Take my semicon stripper, make sure I'm on square cut. And I know I've already checked it, so I know that it's in good shape on the depth. So I'll get it tightened on here good. Like I said, I got my square cut. I'm gonna make 2 turns with square cut. 1 and 2. Get to that point, flip it to spiral cut. It shows you on here which way is the cable end, then it tells you to turn it counterclockwise. Right here it shows cable end with an arrow. You want to be slow and easy with this, not trying to go too fast. You will walk off and jump. Notice I'm being very careful with how I'm doing it. Then I'll watch for the blade to come out the end, kind of give me an idea of where to start to remove it from. Go ahead and loosen it once you see your blade come out. Grab your needle nose, duckbills, whatever your preferred pliers are. And you'll want to just get it started. Once you get it started, it'll peel right off for you. If you're doing your semicon score for the first time on a piece of cable, you want to start out here where you know your connector is going to be taken off. That way, if you're too deep or not deep enough, you can do all your adjustments here and not get back here, especially you don't want to be too deep back here. I'm going to get down here close and I'm going to cut some of this off. Here's where you want to be very careful taking it off. You want this semicon take off as straight as possible. See right there, my semicon is trying to come up on me and tear. So I know I can get a hold of it here because I left a piece up. And I'm going to peel it to where it pops up and it's, you can see where it's smooth cut off right there. And then you just want to take this all the way around. The little piece still held on because they tend to do that. And there we go. I've got a straight cut around on the thing. At this point, I'll go ahead and sand my jacket with 80 grit paper. Now I'm going to sand my insulation with 120. And we will sand all of our openings. Now I know my connector is going to be 3 1/4. I have already checked that. Just kind of knock some of the dust. I'll get my marker again. And I will get it flush to the end of the conductor. And you'll want to make that mark good ways around. So when you go to run your law machine, you don't know where it might hit. So now I will take my tool, get it on there, set the depth of the blade kind of move it forward and back a little bit just to check it. Then I'll go ahead and put my spiral cut on. And when you get started, if you feel like you're dragging a little bit, you just want to back it up just a hair. You don't want to be scoring up your conductor. And when you get to your mark, you'll go to square cut. Back it off just a little bit to go to your square cut. And then just come easy with it around, be real smooth. Take this off, get your conductor brush, and brush it real good. You want to do that the very last thing you do before sticking that connector is when you want to brush. You don't want to sit there and brush it early on and then be waiting a while, because you'll have to brush it again and it starts oxidizing as soon as you do this. As soon as that aluminum gets in the air, it's wanting to oxidize. You'll brush it real good, and you'll get it in your connector, and that's your cable opening. Once you get it together, that's when you'll clean up everything good.